Our first Aranda Award recipient is Judge Sam Jessner. Sam, it's wonderful to see you. In fact, I walked in with your mother this afternoon, an accomplished lawyer, the first woman Bar Association president in Los Angeles, I understand. And I believe also as we were walking in, she noticed Bill Vickery's name above the door, and she said, I worked with Bill. I worked with Chief Justice Ron George, and I believe she was on the council as well. And so quite a legacy of service in your family that you are certainly carrying on. Judge Jessner, you were appointed obviously back in 2007, served as the court's presiding judge from 23 to 24. And as a presiding judge, you focused on expanding access to justice for court users and the public and improving court efficiency. Judge Jessner launched the Pathway Pilot Program to streamline unlimited civil case processing to reduce backlogs. You created the Mediation Volunteer Program to provide free or low-cost mediation for those unable to afford it. You partnered with public transit agencies to provide free transit for jurors, increasing civic engagement and diversity. And you've served as chair of the Judicial Council's Civil and Small Claims Advisory Committee, vice chair of the Information and Technology Advisory Committee, and this impressive list goes on and on. What you have contributed to the branch could take, obviously hours for us to talk about in terms of not only what you've done for the Los Angeles Superior Court, but what you've done for all of us. Let's watch a video at this time that celebrates Judge Jessner and the great impact she has made on advancing access to justice.
Both Judge Jessner and I serve on the Judicial Council's Civil and Small Claims Advisory Committee. Judge Jessner was just elevated from vice chair to chair of that committee this year. That committee is responsible for reviewing changes in civil law and updating forms and rules of court and responding to changes in civil law. Judge Jessner and the other committee members were very sensitive to making sure that when we're updating or creating new forms, that we make them in plain language and make them as understandable as we can. So she brings a unique perspective in that she can represent the views of a very large court system, but she also understands the perspective of users of the court.
She's now the vice chair of the Information Technology Advisory Committee, and she's the type of judge that just rolls up her sleeves and gets to work. She really is solution-oriented. How can we use technology to meaningfully improve the experience of our public who need access to our court? She was the executive sponsor of the Video Remote Interpreting Workstream. That workstream was devoted to improving access to limited English proficient citizens of our state. Also, she has led the effort of the Advancing the Hybrid Courtroom. She recognizes the importance of ensuring that members of the public are able to access our courts.
Well, I believe to her core, she is all about access to justice. I knew this before she became the presiding judge. However, as presiding judge, it was very clear that she wasn't just going to talk about access to justice. She was a person of action. I think she recognized from the very beginning that there are obstacles within our system that we need to really address and break down. Something that was revolutionary and innovative was the decision to create a partnership with Stanford Law School. The court would open its doors to academic researchers to look under the hood and give us advice on what we could do better, how we could change the actual court system. But I think what makes her a truly remarkable jurist and a transformative leader is that she cares about people. She cares about who they are, she cares about their struggles, she cares about their stories, and more importantly, she sees the potential in everyone. This deep sense of empathy that drives her every single day leads to results that we have seen across our court and that have impacted individuals beyond Los Angeles County.
And now to present the award to Judge Jessner, please welcome Judge Jeffrey Kaufman, President of CJA, California Judges Association, and Mr. Terrence Evans, President of the California Lawyers Association.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be here as president of California Lawyers Association to honor all of our winners, but in particular to have the opportunity to recognize Judge Jessner and her incredible contributions as a judge and as a member of the legal community. Instead of covering information that's already in her bio, I wanted to share a few examples that I've witnessed firsthand of her incredible service to the community. During the time that I was chair of the litigation section of California Lawyers Association, we reached out to Judge Jessner regarding our Pathways to the Bench program. And it was our effort to try to open the doors of opportunity to folks who had been underrepresented as judges here in California. Judge Jessner opened her courtroom, and we hosted a Pathways to the Bench event in her courtroom there in Los Angeles. And we had hundreds of folks who were applying or thinking about applying, attended that wonderful event there at Los Angeles Superior Court. As a result of that program, several folks not only applied, but they have now become judges of superior courts throughout California. That is a direct example of her contribution and her service to the community. In addition to that, I've seen her incredible work with California Association of Black Lawyers, which I am a vice president of, the Black Women Lawyers of Los Angeles, the Langston Bar Association, and other affinity bars throughout the state. She has worked tirelessly to make sure that women and other underrepresented groups have a seat at a table, have a voice. In addition to that, I've also seen the incredible work that she's done to create pathways for law students. And through her efforts, we've been able to create scholarship programs and mentorship programs that have had an incredible impact and made a difference in the lives of so many people. So as a result of what she has done, we have impacted lives throughout the great state of California, not just in LA County, but throughout the entire state. So I can think of no one more deserving at this moment of this incredible honor than our amazing jurist here, Judge Samantha Jessner. And so, Judge Jessner, we're so honored to have this opportunity to honor you with this amazing award.
Let me begin by expressing my deep appreciation and gratitude to admittedly a long list of people, so bear with me. I know I only have 9 minutes. So first, thank you to whoever decided the order of presentations today. More specifically, thank you for putting me first on the agenda so that I don't have to follow others who will no doubt give remarks that are far more eloquent and impressive than mine. Let me put a finer point on it. Thank you specifically for not asking me to speak after Justice Gilbert. Based on his witty and trenchant musings in the Daily Journal, the readability of his appellate opinions, and his general knack with humor and storytelling, I am glad I don't have to go after him. Sorry, Judge Conklin. Good luck. Thank you to the Judicial Council, the California Judges Association, the California Lawyers Association, and the Commission on Access to Justice, the sponsors of this award, for selecting me and Judge Chan to receive this award. And thank you, Mr. Evans, for your kind words. I want to take a minute to congratulate Justice Gilbert on this recognition, his career, and his remarkable contributions to California jurisprudence. Congratulations to Judge Conklin, who has so ably and firmly led the trial court budget advisory committee for so many years, including through some very challenging budget years. It's been a pleasure for me to serve on TICBAC. Count how many of these abbreviations I talk about over the next couple of minutes, over the past year, and I've been so impressed by your extensive knowledge of court budgeting, your humility, and your sign-off. Go Dodgers. Congratulations to Rebecca Fleming. I've been very fortunate to get to know her over the past several years. It does not take long to recognize her deep knowledge of court administration. I've been impressed by her work ethic, her dedication to not only her own court, but all courts in California, her willingness to take on complicated subjects with lots of competing views, and her ability to change gears on a dime and talk about what she plans to wear to a family wedding, including whipping out her phone with photos of the options. We have all benefited from her leadership and her friendship. To say that I was very surprised when I learned that I had been selected to receive this award is an understatement. While I am honored and humbled to receive the award, I have spent the last several months feeling like a bit of a fraud, to be honest. I could not have accomplished any of the things I accomplished while serving as presiding judge of the Superior Court in Los Angeles and in connection with the Information Technology Advisory Committee, ITAC, that's 2, and the Civil and Small Claims Advisory Committee, CSAC, that's 3, without the dedicated, talented, intelligent, caring, and amazing people with whom I have had the honor and privilege to work. This award is truly a reflection of the work of many people, certainly not just me, and I accept this award on their behalf. If you have spent any time with me, you know that I tend to use the same 8 or 10 phrases over and over. For example, I often say to lawyers when discussing the requirements to file joint trial briefs, counsel, pretend there is no I in joint. When making difficult decisions as a leader, when there was little to no consensus, I would ultimately say, well, this is not a democracy. And one that I often use, especially when giving advice to young lawyers or judges, is this. I am much more interested in who I get to do something with than I am in what it is that we're going to do. Put differently, I very much value the opportunity to work with people who challenge me, who are smart, who are all in terms of the goals of the particular project, who are professional, and if I'm really lucky, who have a good sense of humor. This award represents a perfect summation of having had the opportunity to work on challenging, interesting, sometimes hot button, often ambitious projects and committees with people who are dedicated, courageous, smart, hardworking, and generally wonderful to spend time with. It's a testament to the people who have supported me and unequivocally expanded access to justice for all Californians by guiding the Los Angeles Superior Court to promulgate a pre-arraignment release protocol for nonviolent, non-serious offenders based on constitutional factors rather than their access to money. Implementing a system in Los Angeles where every litigant can have access to a verbatim record of the proceedings, even if a court reporter is not available. Partnering with Stanford Law School and other academic and research institutions to think differently and more ambitiously about self-represented litigants and better and how we can help them better understand court procedures, and as a result, participate in court proceedings in a meaningful fashion. Creating an in-house training program for Los Angeles Superior Court employees who want to learn to be court reporters and Spanish interpreters, 2 areas where there are chronic shortages, providing an ability for litigants to upload documents electronically, refining case flow management in civil cases to more efficiently and effectively handle those cases, training and certifying volunteer lawyers to conduct free mediations for civil litigants, thinking deeply about remote access to courts statewide so that litigants can have meaningful access to court proceedings in a post-pandemic world, thinking about whether a court user, often a self-represented litigant, can understand a form, and if the answer is no, how we can work together to change that. These are some of the things I have had the pleasure of rolling up my sleeves along with many others over the past several years to think about, analyze, mobilize others to do, and ultimately implement that will affect change. And not just any change, but change that has provided and will continue to provide equal and meaningful access to justice. Let me end by thanking some additional people by name. I was so fortunate to have a formidable team when I was presiding judge, including now presiding judge Sergio Tapia. In addition, my heartfelt thanks to our court executive officer and clerk of court, David Slayton, with whom many of you have had the pleasure of working with, and therefore know how lucky I was to start my term as presiding judge almost the same day he started his position at the court. I also want to thank our assistant presiding judge, Ricardo Ocampo, who was then the supervising judge of our criminal division, who was pivotal in consensus building, both inside and outside of the court. And of course, a big thanks to our senior executive team. I know there are members of ITAC and staff in the House, including Judge Hanson. I always say that we should get the award for the most fun advisory committee and the committee that gets things done. Ably led by Judge Sheila Hanson. Thank you for your kind words in the video. We have done a lot of great things in California, especially with regard to remote access long before anybody was familiar with something called COVID-19. Thank you to Commissioner Foster and the amazing Jenny Grants, who supports the work of that committee. We are always looking forward to reviewing yet another form about unlawful detainers during the pandemic or relinquishing body armor, right? Thank you to Chief Justice Guerrero, as always, for your support. And in addition, thank you to Shelley, or Michelle, whatever you're calling yourself these days. Shelley Curran, Executive Director of the Judicial Council. Shelley, there are very few conversations I have had with you during which I am not bent over laughing. But we do have serious conversations. I don't want to get people to get the wrong impression. But I appreciate your approachability. And also thank you to the other members of the Judicial Council, especially Justice Hill. How many steps do you think you logged marching through the basements and attics of our courthouses in Los Angeles? Probably several marathons worth. And we so appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you at a ribbon cutting ceremony in the very near future. Thank you to the community of legal services providers and bar associations that provided seemingly unending support and expertise in connection with court reporter shortages. You exemplify what it means to be members of the legal profession in terms of civility and dedication to the cause of justice. I am fortunate to be joined today by members of my family, and I have a big family. I am one of 5 kids, lucky for all of you. We only have a representative sample present. I have 2 nieces here, Alexis Black, as well as Megan Schmid. My almost 92-year-old mother, Patricia Phillips, is here. Thank you for being here and for your contribution to the submission for this award. My children, Olivia Jessner, raise your hand, you have to do it because your mom says, and Zachary Jessner. Zachary is in Dead Week in his senior year at Berkeley. I think dead week just means there are no parties at the fraternity, but I did find out at lunch that there is a date party tomorrow night. So I should have excised that line. Zachary has already dipped his toe into access to justice, as he was a member of the Justice Corps last summer and worked in the self-help center at our Pasadena courthouse. Believe me, his job was much harder than my job as a judge sitting in a complex civil courtroom, and he had much more interesting stories. Olivia is a graduate student at Stanford and plans to head to law school in the fall. This isn't even a humble brag. This is a brag. She just heard that she was accepted to Stanford Law School. Yes. Only other person I know in this room who went to Stanford Law School is the Chief Justice, and things seem to be working out pretty well for her. I'm just saying. Finally, my husband, raise your hand, Greg Jessner, who managed to make it here after handling not one but two matters in court in Los Angeles this morning. That, in and of itself, manifests his dedication to me. Let me say, there's no Aranda Award, there's no PJ term, etc., without his love and support. Thank you. My mom has mentioned this award and this ceremony, I don't know, maybe 100 times over the past couple of months. And she has told me a number of times, well, I know Art Gilbert. Many people do. But she also said, I knew Ben Aranda. Well, Mom, you can tell me whether you think Ben would be proud. I sure hope the answer is yes. Yes. Thank you very much.